Do you currently have a lot going on at all times? Do you have a running to-do list that is constantly getting piled on but nothing seems to be getting done? Is it hard to consistently show up for your goals because everything just requires your attention? This is what happens when you are a highly ambitious person but don't have the systems in place to be able to achieve everything. And the thing is that wanting to have everything all at once sounds aesthetically beautiful. It sounds like a great life because it seems like everyone else has it all. They have the perfect bodies, the perfect marriage, they have a beautiful morning routine, a beautiful nighttime routine, their skin's amazing, they have luscious long hair. We want it all. But the thing is that we can't achieve it all. And another thing is that you need to have systems in place in order to achieve anything. So when life starts to get chaotic, it's probably because you don't know what to do at any given time. You walk into your home and everything is a mess. Everything is a priority. You have dishes filled in the sink. You have laundry that's just piled on. The kids need to have dinner. You just got home. You also want to track your calories and go out for a afternoon walk. And then you also need to take a full-on shower because you just feel you haven't showered in the last 3 days. When I tell you I was there at one point in my life, I was there. But what saved me from having a chaotic life and what's actually giving me more of my time back, believe it or not, is systems. Okay, everything has got to have a system. And what are systems, right? So a system is a step-by-step guide. Everything has a system. Whenever they go do an oil change on your car, there's a system in place on how to take out the oil change, what to do to clean out the oil, and then what to do to add it on. Same thing for when they make your order at Starbucks, there's a system in place on how to fulfill that order, what ingredients it needs, and what ingredients you need to put in first in order to make that drink. We're not just doing stuff at the willy-nilly and not knowing what we need to do. Everything is going to require a system. So there has to be a system on doing your laundry and how you're going to put them away. There needs to be a system on when you're going to get your dishes done. There has to be a system in place if you're going to the gym. Like, what are you doing at the gym? What days are you going? What workouts are you doing? How are you tracking your calories? Everything has to have a system, and everything needs to be able, you need to be able to just write it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. And you know you've got a good system down when it is so clear that if you were to hand this paper to somebody else, they would be able to copy exactly what you do without needing to come to you for clarity. That is when you know you have a good system. So like I said, this is so hard to do, to want it all and to have it all, because we're just highly ambitious. But the thing is too, is that not everything is going to be a priority. Not everything is going to be mandatory. There are things that are considered hobbies, and there's things that are considered goals. And today I'm going to help you filter all this out. I'm going to help you build out your system, how to build out that consistency during chaos, and then how to have permission for yourself to have a reset, to have a moment to rest, and not just fill up your to-do list, to fill up your calendar with nonsense that, you know, maybe at this moment you probably shouldn't be doing, and how to figure out when in your life you can actually add that back onto your to-do list. Because I was there once upon a time. I was just a freshly new mom to a brand new baby, and I decided to sign myself up for it was almost like a trial app that this girl was doing, that she was giving away like a free training, and she just wanted you to test out her at-home workouts, and she would just check in on you every single day. So I signed myself up thinking like, oh great, like I'll have a free trainer, and all she requires is feedback. Like, I can do that while being a brand new mom, and also in the moment of moving. I was moving into a whole new apartment, And when I tell you life was crazy at that moment, life was crazy. But since then, I've learned so much about less is more, and so much about how to actually build out the systems I need in order to actually achieve it. So we'll talk all things about that. But if you guys are new here, my name is Geraldine and I make videos all about goal setting, productivity, and procrastination. So if that's the type of content you love to consume, then don't forget to subscribe and follow me on all my social media. I am at Geraldine Silva. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So number one, the goals versus hobbies filter. So this is a decision system, and this is the perfect time, since we are in the beginning of the month, to start this. So this is a filtering system that I discovered watching Shallon Lester's videos. She's another YouTuber that I love to watch, and she talks a lot about productivity and stuff like that, and just life advice. So I actually ended up filtering this system. I actually ended up implementing this system into my decision making, just because I thought it was brilliant and I want to share it with you guys. So I've implemented this. It's changed my life for the better, because I'm an ambitious person and I want to do it all as well, but I just don't have the capacity to be able to do it all day, every day for the rest of my life. So if you are just somebody who's ambitious but chaotic in life, this is going to be absolutely like groundbreaking to you. So like I said, this is a filtering system, and essentially this filtering system is supposed to help filter your to-do list into two different columns. So one is going to be for your goals, and then one is going to be for your hobbies. So let's talk about what makes up your goals and your hobbies. So your goals look like things that move your income, move your career, or move your life forward in any type of way. So they can look like going to work, going to school/studying, going to the gym, staying fit, running, working out, or building out your business, making sales, or doing content creation or any sort of marketing. So these are things that are just required on a day-to-day basis, right? We need to eat healthy to stay healthy. We need to move our bodies to stay healthy. We need to go to school so that we can have a good job, so we can pay our bills. We need to go to work so we can pay our bills. And then if you're building out a business, if you have a business currently, like, you need to show up for it on a consistent basis, because that is a thing that is paying your bills, or that is the thing that you're working on to help you pay your bills. So these are things that are just super important, that are just, they're mandatory on a day-to-day basis to just live in society. So your hobbies look like a way to restore your nervous system. It's fun and it's optional. This is the hugest thing as someone who's ambitious, because as an ambitious person, you think everything is non-negotiable. You think everything is supposed to be like, once you commit to something, like, it has to be done, and it has to be done, and it has to be done. But once I understood that my goals and my hobbies are two different things, and my goals are things that are mandatory, and my hobbies are supposed to be fun and optional, and it's supposed to be something that restores my nervous system, I was just like, oh my god, I don't have to commit to this. This is just something that I can pick up when I have the time. So this can look like, your hobbies can look like knitting and sewing, reading and attending a book club, journaling, or joining a dance class, or just journaling. Like, the biggest difference between these two, your goals and your hobby, is that you can quit your hobbies and return to them whenever you feel like, whenever you get the chance, whenever you feel like you just need a time and place to just restore your just to come back to peace, come back to rest, restore your mindset, and just feel a lot more better, feel a lot more fresh, and just feel rested. Your goals are the things that are going to change your life forever if you were to quit now. If you were to quit your job, how are you going to pay your bills? If you were to quit your business, what is going to move you forward in life? If you quit going to the gym and just start eating pure junk food, what is your life going to turn into? So if you stop going to work, then you can't pay your bills. If you stop going to school, then you can't get your dream job. If you stop working, if you stop building your business, then you lose out on your income. These are necessities that have to get done on a daily basis, or else we lose out in a major way. But on the flip side, if you stop attending your knitting or sewing club, is anything gonna happen? You may lose out on like the $30 that you paid, but is that going to be life-changing? I don't think so. Or if you skip out on or if you just don't journal for the next 2 days, is anything major gonna happen? Is the police gonna come your way because you stopped journaling for 2 days? No, these things are fun and they're optional. We don't have to get them done every single day if we just don't have the time. And we'll talk about time, okay? We will talk about time in this video, but I just want you to understand what your goals and what your hobbies are meant to look like, what they're meant to be. And we need to stop forcing our hobbies to we need to stop forcing our hobbies as our goals. And we need to stop forcing our goals as if they're hobbies, and stop treating our goals like as if they're hobbies, because we're getting the two mixed up. We're getting so stressed out about missing a day in your book club or missing a day journaling. But we don't treat going to work that same way. We're not stressing like, oh my God, I need to go to work. I mean, maybe you are, but we need to stop treating our actual goals, like going to the gym and staying healthy and eating right and making your content, as if it's a hobby, because it's not. It's a requirement. You have to show up. If you want this to be your real life, it's a requirement. You're gonna have to show up. If you want to have this as your full-time job, then you're gonna have to treat it like a full-time job and do it on the days that you don't feel like doing it, because it's mandatory. But when it comes to your hobbies, those are things that you could just do whenever you just have the chance, or whenever you just feel like you need that release and just come back to one again. I know that seasons come and go, and you might have to stop these things every once in a while, but that doesn't mean you can't ever go back to it again. You can't ever pick it up again, because at one point you will. The mandatory 3 method: consistency during chaos. So this is a method that I like to utilize on a daily basis. I don't think it's anything new, but it is something that I just use on a daily basis to be productive, use on a daily basis to be consistent, to be able to show up. So then this next method is for when life just gets a little too chaotic, when there's just so much going on all at once and you just feel like you can't get a grip of it. We want to be able to hold on to our momentum without stressing about having to do our usual routine, right? We want to be able to kind of simplify the version. We want a simplified version of what you usually do, kind of help you just get by without stopping your momentum altogether. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about your goals, right? We want to be able to kind of have a simplified version of what you usually do for your goals without having to stop completely, because again, life can get chaotic and we can't just show up in the way that we usually can. But that doesn't mean we're not allowed to show up. We shouldn't show up at all, because sometimes life happens and we won't have the mental capacity, we won't have the physical capacity, and we won't have the emotional capacity to show up in the way that we usually do. So what do I mean by this? Let's say you're trying to finish school, lose weight, and become a content creator this year. Then that means doing a watered down version of what you usually do, of your usual routine. It is not the full routine, but just a simplified version that can help you get by. So let's say when life gives you lemons, and let's say life gives you half a melon instead of your full melon. What you're gonna do is maybe not make lemonade because you don't have the full lemon, but maybe you could just put the lemon inside of water and just have water with lemon. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the lemon just because it's not a full lemon. but you can have a watered down version of a lemonade, because you can still enjoy the lemon and its benefits, but it's just not going to be the full lemonade. And sometimes we just have to be okay with just lemon with water instead of a whole ass lemonade, and just fulfill our cup with that versus just throwing the whole lemon, just throwing the half a lemon away just because it's not a good day. No, we can still enjoy its benefits without stressing about the fact that it's not a lemonade, if that makes any sense. So the 3 rules about the mandatory 3 is that it must relate to your goals and not your hobbies. It must move the needle, and it must be finishable even on your bad days. So an example of a watered down version looks like applying to 2 jobs instead of your usual 10. Making 1 sales post instead of your usual 3. Maybe it's walking for 30 minutes on the treadmill instead of doing your full-on strength training routine. It is not too overly ambitious, but it is just enough to make you feel like you are getting shit done without overwhelming yourself with the intensity of your usual routine. I have a watered down version of my skincare routine, my meals, when I get dressed in the morning, when I do my work, because every day can't look perfect, and I can't expect myself to make it perfect when I don't feel perfect inside, when I don't feel great. But that doesn't mean that I won't show up. I'm still going to show up for myself, but it's going to look completely different than what my usual day looks like. And this just helps me not just kill my momentum, but it just slows the ball down just enough for me to just get by. And then when I feel better, when I'm at my capacity, then I can pick the ball up again and just push and push and push. So we're getting down to the last portion of this video, so if you guys have enjoyed it so far, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I am naturally Silva. Okay, so the last part of this video. Number 3, the season of life permission reset. We all enter different seasons of our lives, so does our consistency. We change the capacity of how we show up for ourselves, because I can't give my 1000% every single time. If my sleeping patterns aren't the same, why should I expect myself to do my waking patterns the same? I can't control my stress levels, because my stress levels change every single day depending on what is happening in that day. How can we live a more graceful but yet consistent lifestyle when things come up unexpectedly? So this is the season of life permission reset. It teaches what to focus on in this season of your life, and sometimes we have innocently have the right idea but just the wrong timing. What do I mean by this, right? For example, we want to go to the gym 5 times a week, but realistically in this time period, being able to track 10,000 steps a day is just what you can realistically do. Every 3 months, we have to reevaluate what is going to happen in the next 3 months of our lives and begin to put ourselves into these 2 boxes. 1, high capacity season, and 2, low capacity season. So what is a high capacity season? This is the season of your life where you can push yourself to your highest limits. This is your season to add, grow, and build the life that you really want, because you have the mental capacity to do so. You have the space, you have the time. So let's say it's like during the summer when you're off from work, or during the holiday seasons when you're more off from work. This is a season of your life when, let's say, you just have more free time. There's more holidays, you're able to spend more time at home, and you just have more free time. The kids are off from the soccer season, or they're off from football season, or they're off from ballet practices, and you're just in a time and space where you just have the ability to kind of push yourself a lot more. These are what I call the high capacity seasons, and like I said, this is the time where you can actually push yourself to the limits. So what is a low capacity season? So a low capacity season is a season of your life when you're trying to just protect your energy. You're trying to maintain, you're just trying to maintain the momentum you currently have, and you're doing the minimum, you're just doing the minimum effort to kind of show up. You're walking outside, you're not going to the gym, you're writing just one chapter of your book versus writing 100 pages. You're not quitting completely during your low capacity seasons, because you just have the lowest capacity in terms of your energy, in terms of your mental space, and in terms of your emotional space. You just have a lower capacity. You're not quitting during this time. In fact, you're building it up. In fact, you're not quitting in this space, but you are showing up in just more of a minimal effort, and just learning to be okay with the minimal, knowing that you're still showing up even if it's at a 1% battery, because you're still showing up. And then whenever you have more mental capacity, once you are in a space where you have more of the capacity to do it, then that is when you can switch from growth mode. That is when you can switch from more of a maintenance mode to more of a growth mode. During your low capacity season, this is where you only protect your core goal habits. You're not adding additional things like your hobbies. You're not adding additional things that just don't matter at this very moment. They do matter, but they're not essential. They're the fun optional stuff. So when you're in your maintenance mode, you're focusing on just the core things that you really want to achieve this year, whether it's building out your business, whether it's content creation, whether it's graduating from school or paying off debt, whatever it is that is just like, these are the things for sure. Like, if I were to get this done this year, I would just be the happiest person ever. That is what you protect during that moment. You show up in a minimal effort, you maintenance it, and once you're in a position where you can actually grow some more and you can actually have the time to add additional things, then you can. But everything else becomes optional, and those core goals that will just change your life forever are just going to be there, are going to be the only things on your calendar for that time being. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I am at Joelle D. Silva. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.